Hi everyone, this is Sarah Williams with Midnight Greenery again. Today we're going to cover the final 5 pages of Article 1, covering licensing and fees of the proposed marijuana regulations for Chapter 306 for regulations for the marijuana industry. So if you're following along, the link is in the comment section, so follow along on that, bring that up, and you can read along. We're going to start out on page 21. And so page 21 starts out with 3 AAC 306.075, which is the denial of a license application. So the denial process and what happens here. So first, if the application isn't complete, right? The application creates false information, and if the application license violates any restrictions that have been placed upon it, also, if it's not in the interest of the public. So number 4 here says the license would violate, or not number 4, number 3. The license would not be in the interest of the public. So again, who's going to decide what's in the interest of the public? I assume the Marijuana Control Board. Is that something we trust? Is that a good measure, a good measure of things? So also there, the license, if the license would violate any restriction applicable to the particular license, or if it was prohibited under the local control clause with regards to an ordinance or an election or anything of that nature, it would be denied at that point for that. Then we go into B, the license for a renewal. So denying a renewal application, if anything in the above section is denied, then, or is not complete, false information, whatnot, then those things would of course deny it. Number 2 says that the license has been revoked for any cause. Any cause. So let's say you provided a security plan and you made a change to your security plan, or you made a change to your ownership that was a 1% change to your ownership, and you didn't report it within the 10 days, and somehow they decided to revoke your license. So because of that, but you went ahead and you fixed it, and your license was reinstated or whatnot. I don't know. I don't know how that sentence could play out. As we go through this process and we try to think of all the things that could go wrong, so we prepare backup plans and how do we work within these regulations to make everybody happy, what could happen there? What's one of the things that could happen as part of that? All right, so number 3 there says that the license has been operated in violation of a condition or restriction. So again, we talked about last time, we talked about that the local control might be able to put on some sort of a subject to a condition, that a license could be issued, but it would be subject to a condition. So if you violated that, then you could be denied for renewal on that. Now again, this does say will deny. So this is a guarantee. The word will is a statement that you will deny it. It's guaranteed, not may deny. So this doesn't seem to give the board a lot of chance to say, hey, maybe this individual made a mistake and we're recognizing that as a mistake and we're not going to deny them guaranteed. But the word will is a guarantee. So I wonder about those things. Let's see here. So renewal denial reasons. Again, any cause already listed above. License revoked for any cause. You violated a condition or a restriction. And for your delinquent in payment of taxes due in whole or in part from the operation. So if you're not paying your taxes, sorry, you can't have a license. You can't keep doing what you do. This is a business. Operate like a business and pay your taxes is ultimately what they're saying. So next page, we move on to page 22. This one's got lots of highlights on it. The board will deny an application for the transfer of license. This is for the transfer license. So again, all the items above in item A. But section 2, or number 2 here, says that the transfer has not paid all debts or taxes arising from the operation of the business licensed under this chapter unless the transferor gives security for the payment of the debts or taxes satisfactory to the creditor or taxing authority. So once again, we come into financial management in the place of the Marijuana Control Board. So I see that from a business standpoint, it's important. It's important to pay your bills. Necessary. If you're going to maintain, if you're going to keep going, you have to pay your bills, right? But is that the spot of the Marijuana Control Board to control that, to be in that business aspect? Now, when it comes to taxes, when it comes to debts, when it comes to all of those things to the borough, to the government, this is a government regulatory body. So sure, I could see how they would be the police dogs for that, for governing taxes and debts owed to the municipality or to the borough or to the state. But when it comes to other creditors, why? Why should that be the case? The financial management of a business is not the responsibility of the Marijuana Control Board. The financial management of that business is the responsibility of that business. If that business can't compete, if they fail because they didn't pay their creditors, that's their problem. That shouldn't be the problem of the Marijuana Control Board to take the time to research all of that, to talk about that stuff. But if it has to do with the taxes or government debt or whatnot, I get that. I can support that. So maybe readjust that to change that once again a little bit. Number 3, that the transfer of the license to another person would result in the violation of the provisions of this chapter relating to identity of licensees and financing. So this comes back to if you transfer to a non-resident, if you transfer to somebody who has a direct interest in the business but isn't a resident or isn't on the business license or doesn't qualify for a license, then your application would be denied. And number 4, of course, you have to qualify for all of the original application rules and guidelines for that. So that's for a renewal, or for a transfer rather. So if that transfer to that employer, to that new owner, that new licensee must hold all the same regulations as a new licensee for that. All right, so if the board denies an application for license renewal transfer, the board within 15 days will furnish a written notice of denial to the applicant. They'll give their reasons, and then the applicant has the right to an informal conference or a formal hearing. So let's go on to this next section, which is an informal conference. The licensee that is aggrieved by the action of the board denying the application may, within 15 days of the date of written notice of denial, request an informal conference with the director of the board. So this is, as it stands right now, a conversation either in person, in a convenient location, or over the phone with you and Cynthia Franklin. And you would have an informal conference about why the license was denied, right? If you still feel like that wasn't sufficient to satisfactorily meet your needs, then you can, within 15 days of the informal conference, seek a formal hearing. That formal hearing is then governed by the rules of formal hearings. We'll talk about that here in a second. So the rule of thumb, though, is that you're denied. You seek an informal conference, which is much like an arbitration. If you're not satisfied with that arbitration and the results of that, then you can seek a hearing or a trial, if you will, in that sense. So kind of falls along that you've got answers to that point. So then we move on to 306.085, which is formal hearing. An applicant for a new license, renewal of license, if aggrieved by the action denying the board after an informal conference, then they can request a formal hearing, filing a notice of defense within 15 days. So 15 days, your magic number. But only if the applicant requested and participated in an informal conference. So if you're denied an application, you can't go straight to a formal hearing. You have to do 15-day, you have to do an informal conference, then you do your formal hearing, then if needed, you go further from there. When the aggrieved person requests a hearing, all the governing of it and it'll be handled by the Office of Administrative Hearings for that. So that's what that covers on that. So next page, 24. 3 AAC 306.09 covers appeals. So there is an appeal process. If you feel that the informal conference, the formal hearing just didn't do the trick for you, you're not satisfied with the results, then you will have the opportunity for an appeal process, which simply says you can take it to court. You can go further from that process at that point in time. So here's the fun one. So let's break this sucker down. So this is 3 AAC 306.095, fees, refund, and forfeiture. So we start out with the non-refundable application fee for a new marijuana establishment license or an application to transfer to another person is $1,000. So you're going to jump into this, you're going to apply $1,000 at a minimum, right? Plus the cost of your actual license. The non-refundable application fee for a license renewal is $600. That's what it says here in section B. But on page 13, under 306.30, section 3, it says you must also pay a $250 fee if there's a change with renewal, operating plans, ownership changes, security plan change, any of that stuff. If any of that changes, you're going to pay a $250 fee in addition to your $600 fee. Now, some of you that are watching are business owners and have been in business before. Some of you might be starting brand new with this. But no business is the exact same business year to year, especially not in a brand new industry, and especially not as we're trying to figure this stuff out. So the operating plans, the security plans, they're going to change. They should change because you have to grow. You have to change your business. You can't be stagnant. Business is not stagnant. So this is pretty much a guarantee to the board that they're going to get the $600 application fee, right? But they're also going to get a $250 change fee. And so this change fee, so you can pretty much count on your license renewal fee being $850 for that. Now, this is just the application fee, mind you. All right, so this is a non-refundable application fee of, $850, pretty much. But then we go on, a late renewal application fee is $1,000. We talked about that earlier. Is that really meant to deter people so that they file on time? What's the plan there? Why are they trying to do that? So section C says the fee to request board approval of a change in business name, license premises diagram, or operating plan reported with a license renewal application is $250. Why? I question that fee. I question all of these fees because I wonder what they're paying for. Is it going to take the board 2 minutes to be like, oh, look, they changed their business name, but I had to pay $250 for you to look that I changed my business name? For 2 seconds of state work, I have to pay $250? It just, I don't know. The fees are really going to come under question, I think. Now, some people might be, well, they're fees, whatever, no big deal. But I always wonder, where is the money going? And what is it being used for? And why? Why do I have to pay $250 to have a change in business name? Shouldn't that be through the Department of Commerce, and not through the Marijuana Control Board? Because I got to pay a $50 fee over there to change my name with them, plus possible any corporation fees or whatnot over there. So I'm also changing it here for an additional $250. Again, it seems pretty repetitive to me. And I don't know the justification behind it. D, the section D there, the annual license fee to be paid with each application for a new marijuana establishment facility license and each renewal application. So if you want a facility of any type that is licensable, this will be your annual fee. Right? By ballot measure 2, it stated that you cannot do more than $5,000 per license as a license fee. So guess what they did? $5,000. So starting with 1, a marijuana retailer license is $5,000. A limited marijuana cultivation facility license is $1,000. We'll see what those look like in set 3 in August when they come out with cultivation regs, hopefully. So we'll see at that point what a limited marijuana cultivation facility license is and how that's defined. For a marijuana cultivation facility license, it's $5,000. For a marijuana cultivator's broker license, it's $5,000. For a marijuana extract only manufacturing facility license, it's $1,000. For a marijuana product manufacturing facility license, $5,000. And for a marijuana testing facility, $1,000. So it's either $5,000 or it's $1,000. I guess logic would dictate I don't understand why there's a massive separation between the two. Nor why is a marijuana extract only facility $1,000. Is it set up by how much exposure they have to marijuana? Because the extract only is going to have just as much as a product manufacturing facility. So an edibles company is going to have to pay $5,000, okay? But a company that only does RSO is going to do $1,000. It's a big span. It's a big difference. 5,000, 1,000. I don't know how, and I haven't yet thought of a way to say, hey, maybe we maybe we meet more in the middle with things. So I don't have an answer to that one yet. I still have to think about how I personally would think that should be approached. Yeah, that's about it. So $5,000 on your retailer, your cultivation, your broker's license. I would think a broker license would be more like $1,000 license because a broker simply connects two people, your home growers, to your retail establishments, right? So why would a broker need to carry the same license amount as somebody who's doing a cultivation facility or a retail store? A broker is a connector. A broker might be more like a $1,000 license if they're going to go 5,000, 1,000. It'd be more like a $1,000 license because you're simply connecting. You are the intermediary to help the black market become legal, if you will. So I'd like to entertain some discussion on that. Why 5,000? Why 1,000? Why the spread in between the two? What could be a compromise in that to make everybody happy for that one? Okay, so then section E, if the board denies an application for a license or for renewal of a license, the board will refund the annual license fee. Right? The board will not refund a license fee after the license has been issued. Makes sense. Right? F, their processing fees for late renewals after failure to pay taxes are as follows. So these are, in my opinion, these are ways that are meant to significantly punish people who don't pay their taxes. Right? So you don't pay your taxes, you don't treat this like a business, you aren't on the up and up with your taxes, then you're going to get a fine. So if a licensee pays its delinquent tax after the local government has protested, but before the board denies renewal, it's $200 is a fee. Okay? 2, if a licensee pays its delinquent tax after the board's denial of a license renewal, but before a hearing officer is appointed, it's $500. If a licensee pays its delinquent tax after appealing the board's denial of a license renewal, but before the administrative hearing begins, it's $5,000. And if a licensee pays its delinquent tax after an administrative hearing that results in a hearing officer recommendation to deny the license renewal, it's $10,000. So in addition to not having to pay your taxes, because you're still going to have to do that anyway, you're going to pay a $10,000 renewal. Looks like you're also not going to have a license anymore to practice, to have an establishment. And so that's meant, I would assume, to deter people from not paying their taxes, to help them pay their taxes. I don't know. I'd like to see further discussion on that as well, as to just the reasons why. Not necessarily that I'm against it, but just the reasons why for that. All right. So that covers all. That covers Article 1. All done of Article 1. Next video, we're going to work on Article 3. Let me look here and see. We've got Article 3, which is marijuana retail stores. So in this section with this set 2, it covers Article 3 and Article 7. Article 3 is marijuana retail stores. And then Article 7 is the operating requirements for all marijuana establishments. Now, I think, if I'm looking at this right, that it's really, there we go. It's actually a lot smaller. It's only about 10 pages versus Article 1 was 25. So each of these sections are about 10 pages. So I think we'll probably cover it in just one video and just make it long and to the point. Now, there's a lot of stuff in this marijuana retail stores kind of stuff that's not like alcohol. It's not as alcohol. It's not similar. It's quite restrictive, actually. And I'm not understanding why. Other than the morality issue, other than the fear of cannabis and what it's going to do to our children, those kinds of things, the public safety aspects, I'm not sure why we need to really restrict it to this level. Some of these things are extremely restrictive. So we'll discuss it next time. I'll probably record that sucker for you guys tomorrow. And that being said, again, agree with me or not, leave your comments below. That's it. We'll see y'all tomorrow. Bye.